Maybe during the holidays, you went to visit some family and friends back home. And I know I did, and Gal is planning to do it soon. And we want to talk to you today about this going back home. And why do we say going back home? Where is home right now? It's not that complicated to go back home. And it's just, some kind of holiday. And like everything in life, it's all about how you approach it and how you see it and how you choose to react to this situation.
Yes.
So it can be an amazing thing or a disaster, really depends on how you approach it. Welcome to our first episode of the Coffee Talkie Show in
2023.
Wow, I can't believe it's a new year.
Yeah, it's been I can't believe it's been a year. I'm still in this mode of what have we done this year, reflecting on it, deciding things for the upcoming year. It is a great time, but I have to tell you something I just heard this morning. It's we tend to talk it's a new year, new me. It's a new, you see all those posts, new year, new chapter. No. The person that you've been yesterday is still the same person that you are today. I love the post that we've seen a couple of weeks ago, someone saying, it's not new year, new you. It's new actions, new you. It's whatever you're deciding to do. And it's true for January, it's true for March, it's true for every July. It's true for every single month. So true, it's this, it's in the air, this notion of new beginnings, fresh, new chapter. But actually, we keep on going.
Yes.
It's just the next big thing, right?
Yes, and we took a little break, during the holidays, and we've done a lot of things, in the back office. But right now, we are back for this weekly podcast for you. For women that are living abroad, for women that want to move abroad, that haven't decided yet, they decided but are still hesitant, they want to be inspired. This is for you.
Yes. So we hope you have your coffee with you. Let's do a nice coffee cheer.
Yes.
Cheer with us.
This.
Yes. And let's start today's episode.
Yes. Today, I don't know, maybe during the holidays, you went to visit some family and friends back home. And I know I did, and Gal is planning to do it soon. And we want to talk to you today about this going back home. And why do we say going back home? Where is home right now? It's kind of complicated, and we want to make it more, let's simplify it a little bit. One of my New Year's commitment is to make things less dramatic. So it's not that complicated to go back home, and it's just, some kind of holiday. And like everything in life, it's all about how you approach it and how you see it and how you choose to react to this situation.
Yes.
So it can be an amazing thing or a disaster, really depends on how you approach it.
Yeah, and let's be honest with you. So as you said, you've been in Israel. So we're currently in France. For those of you who are listening to us first time, we're currently in France, and you've been to Israel this past month. I'm planning to go next month. And, we're talking here about how we approach things and everything, but we actually practice what we preach. We're trying to understand why things trigger us, why it stresses, why they overwhelm. What does it mean? All those things that we're talking to you here. So, let's start with this idea of what does it mean going back home? Before actually what happens when you go there on your holidays or a visit or business trip or whatever it is. But why, going back home? Is it?
Really. I gotta tell you, when we bought the ticket, a month and a half before our trip to Israel, I was really stressed, you know that. I talked a lot about it on our Instagram account. And this idea of we were going home for the holidays, it didn't felt like going home. And so it didn't feel comfortable at all. I consider my home where I live right now. Yes, this is the country I lived there before right now. It's also the country where I was born, but it doesn't make it my home anymore. And it's not that I don't like it, it's not that I don't love it. The people there, I have family there and really, really good friends. But my home is where I am right now, where I created a new home. So just by definition, it was strange to me to say, yeah, I'm going home for the holidays, because it wasn't that. I actually felt better when I came back home to where I live right now. So again, if you're living abroad and you still call home the country that you used to live in, then it might get things harder for you, where you live right now.
Yeah, it might create some confusion in your brain. Like, so if this is home and you're going home and it's like, where is home? And, we talked about it in another episode here, if you've listened to it, to the idea of being a little bit here, a little bit there. Where do you belong? Creating this international nationality. You're a little bit of everything. You're a citizen of the world. But actually, at any given moment, you have a place you call home. And if it's not actually where you live,
then it's a problem.
Then you basically don't allow yourself to create a life you actually enjoy living in the specific moment where you are. Now, I'm not talking if you are a digital nomad and you are only for 2-3 weeks in a certain place, then I can understand why you don't call it home.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you've been wherever you are for a certain amount of time, or if you're planning to go somewhere, the whole idea of creating a home is very important. And maybe we'll do another episode on home in general. But I remember when we actually lived in Israel, coming to visit friends, for sometimes it was like I know I said I'm going home because I was going to my parents, and if it's my parents, then it's home. So I was like, so now I'm thinking about it. I was like, it happened both ways, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's confusing. And to be honest, what I did personally before I went visiting home or Israel is I decided not to call it I'm going home, is I'm going to Israel for the holidays to visit some friends and family, and that's it. Yeah. It gets a little bit of distance between me and this trip. It was more like a vacation, a trip. Like I could go to Italy or to Norway or to the UK or to Canada or to Israel. It's my choice. And it brings me to the second point that I want to talk to you. This is something you choose to do.
Yeah.
Okay? No one forces you to go back and visit this country you once lived in. No one is doing it. You choose to do it. Even if your mother is super annoying and saying, oh, you should come for the holidays. And you're like, yeah, I'll do it for my mom. It's actually your choice. And if you chose to do it, assume it. This is your choice. And make the most out of this choice, because it's not all bad and all, annoying.
No.
Find why you're doing this, why you chose to do that.
Yeah, I think it's very important. And we're talking about taking responsibility for our actions and being sure that what is the role you're playing. So as you said, sometimes you actually do things not 100% for the right reasons, okay? You're deciding to go visit a certain place because because you miss people, this is great, this is one thing. Because you actually, someone told you, because there's an event, because it's what you're used to do. Like, I remember us as kids, we went back to Israel when we were living in France every single summer, because that's what we do. Like, you go, you don't ask questions, right? But as an adult, okay, you're not a kid. Whatever the, let's put it on the surface reason that you can say, it's actually not my decision. It's, I have to, I was told to, I need to, all those things. Go a little bit deeper and find the real reason of why you're going. You made a decision to go. There's, like, you can make an excuses for everything, right? So if you decided to go, there is something inside you that says, actually, I want to be there for a certain time. And you need to tap into this, because otherwise you'll find yourself blaming everything and everyone for the time that you're going to spend there. And you're actually not going to have a great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and I can tell you from my experience, like a really recent experience, if you don't know why you're doing this, then you're gonna be miserable for the whole trip, you know. And that's not something we wish to you or anyone else or ourselves, you know. So once you understand why you chose to do it, like on a deeper level, not because your mom told you or because there's a wedding or even because, you know, of a sad event, if someone died, I don't know. Okay, then why is it important to you to be there at this specific moment? And how can you make it, you know, something you actually enjoy? Because, you know, this is our belief. Everything you do in life and your life in general, you should make it enjoyable, you know, fun. And okay, not everything, not a funeral is not a way to have fun, but you should always add something that will make you feel joy. And so maybe that's our next point, you know, just plan things that are fun to you.
Yeah, that are joyful. And, you know, I will share with you a conversation that I had yesterday with a friend of mine. So I'm planning to go to Israel in a month. And the on the surface reason was that a friend of mine is getting married and I'm super excited for her. And she invited me to be her maid of honor, or the Israeli version of it. And it really was like an emotional moment. And I was like, yes, I didn't thought of going to Israel up till the moment she sent me a message. And then I was like, this is worth it. But then I got super stressed about it. I still kind of am, to be honest. And I had this conversation with another friend last night. I'm being like, I need to do things that are going to be fun. Like, because I'm not going only for the wedding. So this is the on the surface reason. I'm going mainly because, like, this was the excuse, the trigger to actually book the ticket. But now that I'm going, I want to see other people. I want to see all those people that I missed for the past 2.5 years, and see my family and see the friends, sit in places that I used to sit, because it's like, it's always nice, right? But I felt anxious about it very, very much. And I said to her, like, I want to make sure that I do things that are fun. So it brings to what you say, like, I don't need to do things. I want to do things, and they have to be fun. Like we say all the time, this is our sprinkles on the plain vanilla ice cream. You can enjoy a plain vanilla ice cream, but for us, it's about adding an extra layer of pleasure to things. And pleasure can be as simple as sitting for a coffee with a friend, but knowing that this person is the fun one to sit with.
I have an even better example. You know, I had a dinner that I needed to be in. It's not the things that I mostly wanted to be, but I needed to be there. So I bought a bottle of wine that I can really enjoy, and I brought it to dinner, and I knew that this is my sprinkles on the top of this dinner, and actually it made it more fun to me. Or, you know, you're invited to someone, you bring I brought a cake that can, you know, it can turn the conversation to something else, or chocolates, or it's not all about food and wine, it's you know, it's doing things that you actually love, and you know, plan it in advance so you know that this is the moment that you're having fun, and make the time for it, you know. When I was in Israel right now, I have a really good friend that I know that when I meet her, my energy levels are just rising to the roof and above. And so to all of my friends, I, you know, add time like 2-3 hours, but with her I said, you know what, I'm meeting with her and I'm planning nothing after, because I know that I might need 4 or 5 hours, because this is my fun, my joy, you know, meeting this person that I really, really missed. And it was exactly like that. And a tip from me, an advice, and I know you do it as well. Plan it to the end of your trip. So you expect this. So you wait for this fun, joyful moment. So you have something, you know, to long for.
You know, I'll share with you. So my tip right now, because this is what I got to realize yesterday. So I was thinking where I'm gonna stay. So this again is the thing about when you go visiting back a country you used to live in. So if you have your parents there, I guess you're staying at your parents' place if they have room. Not
or
all,
if it's okay for you. If it's not okay for you,
you don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, we heard a lot of people saying like, I mean, I cannot go and stay at my parents' place. But for me right now, for you, you had the same situation. We don't have a place to be in Israel. Like we need to ask to sleep at people's places or book an hotel or something like that. And I was like, I felt like I don't know how to do it, because I don't like, it's not that many friends that invited me to their place. And I was like, maybe I should go to different places so I don't stay for too long in one place and everything. And then this friend that I talked to yesterday, and she's really like, she's a crazy energy and an amazing light in my life. And she was like, God, you always have a place, whether it's in my bed, literally, or on the sofa, for how long you want. And I told her, and this is back to your tip of scheduling stuff, I was like, you know what? I know that if I end up seeing you every single day, even if it's for 10 minutes, 15 minutes before we fall asleep, because I'm going to do different things during the day, this will make me fun. Because I remember the last time she came to visit me in Paris, we giggled every single night before falling asleep. Like, this is how crazy we are when we're together.
Pajama parties
every single day. It was like all day. Like, it was so fun. So I was like, even if I'm gonna have a weird moment or something, I know that seeing her will make it good. It's gonna end the day good, and this is how I want it to be.
Yeah.
So find the things that you know yourself best, that are gonna make you feel good about wherever you're going, and whatever people you're gonna see, whatever activities you have to do, whatever dinner parties you have to go to. Find things that you know that are gonna make it better for you, funnier for you, more pleasant to you. Like, you know what works for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is very, very important. And I want to go to that next point. And for me, it's communication.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you're coming to visit, but not everyone, actually, most people don't know what it is like to come back to the country you used to live, to not feel at home, to be a little bit confused about how you're feeling in this place, to see people that you missed, to see people that you didn't miss. it's very confusing and it's a lot of emotions, and we get you. But when you're going to visit, not everyone will get it.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them will, but mostly they won't get it. So you need, or this is our advice to you, to communicate first how you feel about it. Like, let people know that it stresses you out a little bit maybe, or that you're confused about your emotions, or that you're excited about it. Let people know, because people are not good at guessing what you feel.
Mind readers. People are not good. And when they mind read, they actually get it completely wrong. Yeah. So better tell them directly what it is that you're going through.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, what are you expecting from them? If it's someone that you want to meet, for a dinner, tell them, I want to meet you for a dinner. How can we schedule it? Or I want to meet you for a coffee in the afternoon. Or I want to go to a trip, 2 days trip with an overnight with you. Tell them, what do you want? What do you expect from this person? Because otherwise they will plan in their head what they want from you. And actually, it might not be the thing that makes you comfortable, that you want, that brings you joy, that brings you fun. So make sure you're communicating with others. And please don't wait for others to communicate with you. You be the bigger person. You are the one that's coming. Be active. This is your trip.
Now, we get it. Every single person has their own way of doing those kind of trips, okay? So, again, I was just talking to a friend about it the other day, and she used to come to a place and just be like, hey, I landed. Whoever is free, I'm here for the next X days.
This is our mother.
Actually, this is our mother after 15 years of experience, because she used to plan everything ahead, and then at some point she literally just arrived and be like, I'm here sitting at this coffee place if you want to meet me. And it used to work for some time. It stopped working at some time. The thing is, you need to know yourself. And remember, we were talking in a different episode about knowing our needs. Okay, so some people need to know, like me. Mm-hmm. Some people need not to know, like you. And some people need to, it's what is the driven force for you, okay? And you know yourself best, again, so communicate it. Tell your needs about this trip. The same way that if you plan on going on a holiday somewhere completely random, not where you used to live at some point. Some people will plan it minute by minute. Some people will go completely spontaneously and be like, I'm here, I'm figuring it out. You know what works best for you. So make sure that you do the same thing right now while communicating it to others. Because the difference between a holiday in a place that you know no one versus a trip to a place where you know some people, I don't say everyone, but some people, is that you're actually going to interact with them. And if you want them to cooperate with your way of doing things, you gotta tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the time, visiting the country you used to live is about being with the people you love and you missed. It's not about, sightseeing and taking a trip, in the mountains. You might do both, but it's a lot about the people.
True.
So the way to getting to people is communication.
And don't be afraid of their reactions. It's okay if they don't understand, as Maayan said in the beginning. Most people that never left the country that you used to live in, or that never really had this experience themselves, they don't know what it means.
Yeah.
And they cannot understand what you're going through.
Even those who went abroad and came to visit, it's not the same experience as you have in this specific moment. Everyone is different. There's no need to compare yourself to others. Basically, that's true for everything. And you shouldn't expect them to understand you. what you should do if you want them to understand you is just tell it and don't overthink it. Just be clear about it. Say it in the simplest way you can. This is what I want. This is how I feel. This is what I expect. That's it. Try to simplify it for them and for yourself as well.
Yeah, and for that, I think it's maybe you have another, but the next point that I want to talk to you about is preparing yourself.
Yeah.
Because unless you booked a last minute ticket and you're going like in 24 hours, tomorrow, in 2 hours, you probably have a couple of days, weeks to prepare yourself for this. So again, I go back to the same thing. You know yourself best. So you know what will work and what won't work, but you need to prepare yourself for it. You know what stresses you. You know what triggers you. You know what you expect. You need to see it through and take the time before your actual trip to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally. Not only like getting the flight ticket and where you're gonna stay. Those are the logistics. It's everything we're talking here on Smoothity every single time. The logistics are a big thing. We understand that. Good, you have your flight ticket. Good, you know where you're gonna stay. But what's going on inside you?
Yes, this one is very, very important. And I gotta be honest with you. I had a month and a half to prepare myself. And honestly, I was 90% ready. It's those 10% that I missed in my preparation that surprised me and got me frustrated. And I can share with you that I really for this month and a half, I tried to find the real reason why I'm going, and I had that. So the first thing is check. I didn't call it I'm going home because I feel at home where I am right now. I scheduled some fun things to do. I communicated, but not enough. And this was my, I think most of my 10% missing was communication, because I wasn't communicating enough what I was expecting and what I wanted to, because I did a lot of, pleasing others and trying to fit in their needs and not having them fit my needs, then got frustrated because nobody cared about how I felt. Again, so dramatic, and it got me a lot of frustration. But once I came back and I analyzed it, because this is what I do, then I really think the fourth point is communication, and this is what I kind of missed. Because the planning I did, I had everything planned, but it's not enough to plan it. You need to communicate your plans, otherwise it won't help you.
Yeah, if it's only in your head or even in your notebook or even in your calendar, but no one else on the other side knows that this is what you planned, well, it's never gonna work.
Yeah, and I can give you an example from, again, my recent visit. I had one day that was really planned, back to back. I had 3 visits. I had to see 3 or 4 people. I don't even remember. And one depended on the other. If I was late to the first meeting, then I ran late to the other, and again and again and again. And by the end of the day, I was super frustrated because I was late to every meeting I scheduled. And all because my first meeting was late. And I was like, well, in my head, I'm going to tell you how it's happening back there. It's really interesting. It's like, I was frustrated and I was angry. But then I told myself, well, how could she know that I really, really need to finish our meeting by 12 o'clock if I didn't told her that? She can't guess that. She can't know that I am frustrated right now because if she's late, then I'm late to my next meeting, then it affects, a lot of people around me, then I feel bad for being late. Again, this is me. This is who I am. But people around me can't guess that this is how I feel when I'm late if I'm not telling that. And what happened is that day I burst into tears, exploded, blaming everything and everyone. But actually, blaming others, it's nice to vent, but it's not helpful. Again, and what I came to the conclusion is I need to communicate better what I want, what I planned, what I expect from people. And then they can respond, because if it doesn't suit them or their plan, they can communicate it back and we'll find a solution together. Again, it's not this is my plans and you need to, adjust to me. It's about communicating. And for me, this was the 10% missing, because 90% of the time it was really, really great. I had a great time visiting. I met people that I really missed and it was amazing. But those 10%, because of the lack of communication, really made it hard for me. So
if we're talking about this point of preparation, what would you say you did to prepare yourself? So the 90%, because now you know about the 10% that we're missing, but what did you do for the 90%?
So again, and it took me a lot of time to understand why am I going to visit Israel at this specific time with all my family. And it's not because the holidays are together this year in Paris and in Israel. No, it's not that. Those are the reasons on the surface, like you said before. And it's not because my husband needs to see his mother. No. Why do I need to go? And it took me a lot of time, to go deep inside and to be really, really honest about myself until I found it. So this is I would say the biggest one. Preparation.
For everything you do in life, you got to know the reason for why you're doing it. This will help you deal so much better with everything. Yeah. And sometimes we stay on this surface answer of being I'm going for a wedding. I'm going because it's the holidays of the kids and I need to take care of them. Those are the surface answers. Okay?
I wish you could see Gal rolling her eyes.
Yeah. But I love how yesterday you asked your daughter, what does she see when she's rolling her eyes? It's just seeing her brain, because she's been rolling her eyes so much. Yesterday was excellent. So, again, you have those on the surface reasons for going and doing everything you do, okay? As we said, it's everything you do in life. But be super honest with yourself. And the first thing you need to do when you prepare yourself to go back and visit and do stuff is understand really your own reason to go. Your deeper reason to do this. Once you know this, you'll see that it's going to be easier to deal with all the rest.
Yes, absolutely.
I will add to this, the second thing to do, and this is what I am currently doing, is to be super honest about what might trigger you when you go. Okay? Stress is our body's responses to pressure. We need to understand what causes us stress, what causes us overwhelm, what creates anxiety for us, what makes us angry, what makes us sad, makes us happy. All the buttons that triggers on our control panel, we need to know what they can be, because there is going to be surprises. You cannot plan everything. Even if you're a really good planner, you cannot plan everything. Knowing ourselves and knowing what triggers us help us communicate it better, so we can try to minimize the chances of it happening. I don't say you can avoid them, but you will be able to look at them and be like, ooh, it's coming. Mm-hmm. And then you know what to do. Okay? So knowing what triggers us is a very, very important point.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And this is what I'm doing right now. And I start like...
And again, I think
it down.
You can prepare yourself and know, but one of the things you need to prepare yourself to is surprises. Things will not always go as you plan. And that's okay. You know, those are the things that are out of your control. You can control yourself, your plans, what you want, what you desire, everything regarding yourself. But you can't plan everything, you know. For example, I planned a meeting with a friend and then she was sick. What can I do, you know?
Okay, so this goes to my third thing about preparing, is about how to minimize and manage yourself, your stress, your emotions, everything that will come with it when things will not go as you want them to be. Because guess what? Chances are something you plan will not go as planned. Sometimes for great reasons. Someone is being sick, you cannot say anything. Sometimes for less good reasons. In your head, it's less good reason. Okay, maybe for them it's an amazing one. Sometimes just like, you know, your flight is going to be delayed. You cannot control things outside of yourself. That's a fact. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the flight. You cannot control the traffic. You cannot. So you can prepare yourself right now to think of and to practice it already right now when you're in your home, comfortable and in good mood. How will you react? What can you do to help yourself cope better with unexpected situation or things that go a little bit off track?
Yeah. I think we talked about this, you know, how to react to different situations in another episode if you want to go deeper on this one. But basically, you know, preparation is great, you know, but it's really a work that you can do with yourself, and it takes time to practice it. Of course, it's not that right now you say to yourself, ooh, when this will happen, I want to react in the most peaceful way. No. But then the next day it happens and you shout and curse and cry. And that's natural. That's okay, because it's a natural reaction. And if you're not in a advanced mode of work with yourself and training yourself to control your reactions and your feelings and everything, then it's only natural that it's going out of control. Yeah. And even for us, that
it happens.
We know and we train ourselves daily, all the time. We talk about those things, and sometimes when it happened, it's like our reaction is the opposite of what we plan to do.
Exactly.
It's okay if it happens to you. We're together in this.
We're humans. But this whole idea, so if you know you have time to plan yourself, so the 3 things I think that are the most important, or maybe it's 4 things, is know your reason, know your triggers, know what you can do to whenever it will happen, if it happens, and communicate all of that. Work on yourself for the next couple of weeks or days that you have before your trip. So you come in the best shape you can to this. Because guess what? Even if you are only super excited and super happy about going to see your family and your friends, and everything you feel is just pure joy and excitement, which I think it's amazing. You will have daily life there, and you need to know that things, just as in your current daily life, sometimes things will turn different than what you expect. So,
and then you have to come back.
And then, yeah, and then like I was just talking. So a friend of mine, so she spent 3 weeks back in her home country, and she wrote to me a couple of days before her flight back here to France, and she was like, I'm really happy that I have my gang of girls now back in France, because I'm actually excited to go back. Because otherwise, she was like, otherwise it's hard. I had amazing 3 weeks with my family and friends that I haven't seen for so long. And I was traveling, and she was in nature all the time. She's like, I had such a good time. So actually the idea of flying back to France really made her sad. So this is the
yeah, and we've been there as well. I remember
so many times.
I remember when I lived in Israel, and I came back to visit France, and there was this one time I told our mother, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Like, you have to force me to go because I'm not going on that plane. And she did force me, and I went back. But it was horrible because I had such a great time, and I felt at home, and I didn't want to go back. And maybe that's topic for another episode, but I think we covered a lot in this episode. And if you are planning to go and visit your family soon, then those tips and advices might be helpful to you. And if you are just coming back from the holidays with your family and friends and in this country that you once lived in, then maybe it's time to reflect on those. And, like I did, looking back, what happened there? How did you feel? What could have you done differently to make it better for next time? And whatever it is that you're feeling right now about this visit, then it's okay. Yeah. It's natural. It's human. It's your feeling. Nobody can tell you how to feel. This is yours, and it's okay. And own it, this is you.
This is you. So on this note, I think we're gonna end today's episode. Thank you so much for being here live on Facebook, or listening to our podcast, or watching the YouTube, wherever you are. We love you, and we wish you an amazing 2023.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe to our podcast or YouTube channel so you can get the notifications for the next episodes, because we're going to come back every single week now.
Yes, and make sure that this year, 2023, is the year that you create a life you actually enjoy living, no matter where you are, no matter where you chose to live. Yeah. This is your year.
This is your year. So I wish you an amazing day, and we'll see you in next week. Bye.